Now, boys and girls, as promised, it's time for a new artist interview segment on the space station, and we have arranged a direct link up to New York City, where tonight's guest is based out of. Are we all set, Violet?
Yes, Jolt. Our guest is on standby.
Good. Now, Violet, we're going to conduct a professional interview here. No fooling around. The whole point of this is to showcase indie artists to all the eager listeners out there. So let's stay on the level here. Okay, Rock and Roll Space Station cadets. Thanks for joining us this evening on another Rock and Roll Space Station First. We are excited to debut the artist interview segment right now. So here we go. Hello, musician guest. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
And I can hear you. Excellent. Violet, is this transmitting okay?
Yes, Jolt.
Sorry, folks, just making sure. So, guest, please introduce yourself to the Rock and Roll Space Station listening audience.
Yeah, no problem. I'm Kamir. I'm from Brooklyn, Midtown, Astoria, wherever I end up being. And I'm an electropop singer.
And thanks for coming on the show tonight. So, Kamir, what made you decide to pursue the music biz?
I think I finally decided that I definitely wanted to do it when I was pursuing business to try to get music business. And I was in a band at the time, and the band was doing really well. And I was like, you know, like, I'm a fine business person, but I'm a great performer. But other than that, I've always wanted to do music. I've been singing since before I could talk. I started writing when I was 12 with my acoustic guitar. I loved music, despite my mother's wanting to go back to school.
You hear that, kids? Keep your dreams regardless of your parents' wishes. So have you always played with an acoustic guitar, or what's your process?
Every instrument I end up playing, I just end up singing to, or I just have to do something really complicated because I get bored playing it very easily. So I've never been able to take that to stage. And I don't really enjoy writing my own music, which is why I end up working with a lot of people. I find it more enjoyable to write lyrics and melody, or take lyrics and melody I already have and apply them to somewhere and then perform them.
So all of us started somewhere. Can you think back to the first thing you ever recorded, or the first thing you cut that you actually enjoyed and thought, hey, I've got something here?
I am such a, get rid of whatever you have and start over again. So I've done that a few times. The very first thing I ever wrote was this, guitar thing, and I think it only sounded good because it was on, my dad had a huge acoustic Sigma guitar, which is Gibson's off brand. So I was trying to play it when I was 12, and it was most of my body, and had great deep timbre, and it had terrible action, so I got really good at playing chords, and it was a great time. But it's I've worked with kids writing at that age, and it's just very emotional and overly dramatic, and I'm still not out of how I write now. Still very broody and kind of bitter, but much more broody and bitter at that age.
That's a good balance in life, though. I think most artists have a bit of a split personality. Smeagol and Gollum, you know? Dark and broody on the inside is always a given. So was your dad a musician, too?
I'm my dad's what he wished he did. He was in band, and he played, and he wrote, and he did whatever. But, he went and got a degree, and he was married young, and he loves his job. He's in innovations, which, I feel is a very same mental space. Because I've been fortunate enough to work with him a few times. But it's just a different life. He still plays. He plays piano every single day. I don't think I've not heard him play any day.
Okay, so we're going to play your current track, Show Me That, up next here, which I've really been enjoying lately. But first, can you elaborate on any of the process behind the song?
It was a bizarre process. I hadn't been in a studio writing type situation ever. I was actually in a band before this project, where the band, we all wrote together and we all wrote our own parts, and we all just sat in a room and did it. And this is I have a track idea, and then you like it? I'm meh. Or I don't know. And then lyrics, I don't know. I'm used to having something and applying it to what's there. I've only written a few songs. I mean, now I've written much more songs that way, but at the time I'd only written a few songs in the moment. Fully written them in the moment. Usually I have a stanza, and I put it on, and then I form the song around that. So I was going through my notes. I can't keep a notebook, I lose them, so I have the Google Notes app, a bunch of little Post-its basically. And one said your body needs feeling, and I was I do not remember writing that down. I'm where the hell did that come from? So I opened it up and it had like a sound thing on it, and it's me singing one of my old lyrics, but that's how Google translated it, because it can't translate singing very well. So we ended up like using that and starting the song around that. I was working with Josh Sadler Brown. He's also a producer in New York City. We wrote that song together, so it was a good time.
So it all just started coming together after that.
We had like the chorus and like a sound, and then we just like started making the song.
Do you get involved with the instruments or gear when you're in the studio?
Not necessarily. I almost always write top line. I don't think I've ever written an instrumental part. I'll like comment. I'll be like, I like that. And I'm like, that sounds good. But writing music is not my favorite thing in the world. So just like writing concepts and like working on a concept is much more interesting. And top line being my forte in that. I can play guitar, but I can play chords, so I can sing. I can play bass. I can only play like an Interpol song or two and like some Nirvana songs. I could play if I wanted to, but I never put my efforts into it.
So it's just a matter of teaming up with the right people and getting the job done.
I'm like totally willing to be like, yeah, I don't write music. I think it's frustrating when artists pretend that they like wrote songs that they didn't. I'm a singer. I write top line. I perform it.
Awesome. So how about if we get to your song right now?
Cool.
Our live guest tonight is Camille from New York. We'll be right back with more from Camille after this. Right now, here's her track, Show Me That, on Rock and Roll Space Station.
It's been a while since our date. You use the space to complain. I want to be your distraction. It's like you ignore my face in all the time that you waste. Just want to get your reaction. I'm fast, you are slow. I'm hot, you are cold. While I wait, bated breath on the line, you're on hold. Show me that your body needs a feeling. Shut me up with your pulse beating. Lead me on, make me sweat, make the rest come easy. Show me that your body needs a feeling. Don't let me keep you awake. Please take your time, I can wait. I'd hate to be the exception. I put my hands on your waist. I'm going to give you a taste. Do I have your attention? I'm fast, you are slow. I'm hot, you are cold. While I wait, bated breath on the line, you're on hold. Show me that your body needs a feeling. Shut me up with your pulse beating. Lead me on, make me sweat, make the rest come easy. Show me that your body needs a feeling. I don't ever wanna work that hard. It used to come naturally. Why do I have to call your name? When did this become a game? You used to touch me impatiently. You used to touch me impatiently. How'd we ever even get that far? If you feel you have to lie to me. Show me that your body needs a feeling. Shut me up with your pulse beating. Lead me on, make me sweat, make the rest come easy. Show me that your body needs a feeling.
Rock and Roll Space Station on 89.1 Ken's FM. Again, that's called Show Me That by our very special guest tonight, Camille. And I know this is such a cliched interviewer question, but may I ask, where does the name Camille come from? My first thought was the Interpol song.
It's called Interpol. It also is like if someone says come here, like they're beckoning to you, and like older times people use it as like come listen to me, like, come, I have something to tell you. So yeah, it's totally the Interpol song, but it's also that. I love Interpol. We were like trying to figure out band names or artist names, and I was like, Camille? I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I love it.
So being that they're New York-based like yourself, I assume you've seen Interpol before?
I actually saw them in Rhode Island recently, and I've seen them a few times before that, but they just started their touring again, and it was like 60 to 80 bucks to see them in New York and like 20 bucks to see them in Rhode Island. So I just took a car up there and stayed at my friends. I have friends up there, and I just stayed with them. It was amazing. I love them.
Okay, so there's Interpol, and what other artists are your all-time faves or influences?
Interpol.
Of course.
Obviously. St. Vincent, who I also just saw in Rhode Island. I wish I could draw more influence from her, but she has such a different, I guess, like in tone, like the themes of the songs aren't too different from how I write, but her tone is so different. Like her voice is so light and airy, and
St. Vincent must really put on a great live show.
this is my 4th time seeing her. She played like summer stage in New York. I saw her when I was much younger, when she like wasn't known very well. She used to be so timid, and then like when she got into it, she would like freak out and then like come back to being timid. I feel like she's on such a high of like, she just got a Grammy, like her album's doing great. She's like writing and traveling a lot. She was like much more aggressive the entire time, like much more like, watch me, I'm a performer, like I'm doing it.
So St. Vincent, Interpol, does anyone else stand out for you?
I mean, I was a huge Nirvana fan, but I think everyone has like at least a year of their life where they're obsessed with Nirvana. Barely enough. I think my girlfriend's the only person I've met who hasn't had a year of Nirvana. But her sister has, so I'll like take it. That totally jumps. I guess they don't jump out if I have to think about it. I mean, Sufjan Stevens, but he doesn't really influence me musically at all. He's another very light, airy voice.
Okay, so we got some favorite artists. How about some favorite albums?
I mean, in 2009, I did this like project where I tried to only listen to music from 2009. So I instantly just have a soft spot for that year. It didn't last very long, but it was an enjoyable process to do and like blog about. I think the blog is somewhere up on the internet. I don't know where.
Start Googling for that, people.
But I have a soft spot for that year, and every time I like listen to a song or I have a song stuck in my head, I like check the date. It's like from 2009 or like 2008 or 2010, like in that little chunk. I think that probably has something to do with age. People always say that like you get your music, like there's a point in your life where music is very important, and it's like just a physical thing, like everyone does it, and then after that it's hard to like adjust otherwise. So instead of saying an album, I'm going to say that little chunk of time was my favorite music.
That's actually a very good answer. You took it to another level. And are you doing any live gigs at the moment?
I have 4 shows coming up in New York City, which I'm really excited about. I've been playing like some small shows, but these are a little more set up. I have a little more time between to actually promote them and get people excited about them. I have a crazy St. Paddy's Day show at Coco 66 in Brooklyn. I'm playing really late when people are going to be very drunk, so that's good. No, I'm kidding. It'll be fun though. I have 2 shows on the weekend of the 27th. I have one with this awesome lineup of my drummer from my old band, Boy Things, is going to be his band. Ordinary Things is going to be opening. And then some of the great musicians I know. We're all female-fronted bands, and that's at Cake Shop. And then the next one is my friend Denisha. She's Denisha and Scene, like Brooklyn-based band. They just did really well for themselves last year with an awesome album. She curates an art show once a month, and she's really excited to introduce me to the world of music, as she said. And then I have a show at Trash Bar on the 7th of April because I love Trash Bar and I wanted to play there.
And hopefully you'll take your act on the road. So have you ever been to North Dakota or Minnesota?
I'm born in White Bear Lake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's your semi-local connection, folks. I was not aware of that.
I was there until I was 4, and my fondest memories are throwing water out of the front door and watching it freeze before it hit the ground, and blowing bubbles from the hallway from the open front door and watching them freeze in midair. Those are like my fond memories of Minnesota. I
think everyone can relate to that in my neck of the woods. Blowing bubbles when it's 40 below is scientifically fun.
Yeah. Like you're inside and you only want the door open for like 5 minutes Here's a great activity for the kids.
So have you been back to Minnesota since?
I was back once when I was 9. I tried to go back last year with my mom for her birthday because she grew up in White Bear Lake. But I couldn't do it. But hopefully soon. It'll be great when the summer's or the winter's over.
Yeah, get back here when it's actually above freezing and enjoy the great outdoors up north.
Trees and lakes. I've heard about them.
Okay, Kamir, so thanks again for joining me on tonight's program. And while we had your song playing a few minutes ago, I asked you off the air if you could pick 2 songs, for whatever reason, 2 songs that are all-time favorites of yours, and we'll play them up next as we go out with the chat.
I'll go into weird places then.
So, did you figure out your 2 choices? Anything goes.
Let's do Golden Years by David Bowie, because
Oh, great pick.
as soon as I saw A Knight's Tale, I don't think I didn't listen to that song for a few days. And then the other one is the new band that I love so much. I have like an issue where really depressing music makes me really extremely happy, and I can't listen to it in my apartment. So Shura's Touch. I love that song. The band is Shura. The song is Touch. It's an extremely sad song, but it has a great light guitar and like beat.
Excellent. So, Violet, can we cue up Kamir's 2 song picks here? David Bowie's Golden Years and Touch by Shura.
Searching. Songs ready.
Thank you, Violet. So, Kamir, where can we find you online?
I'm everywhere. No, I'm kidding. But I do have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud. I have one song up on SoundCloud. You can download it there. It's called Show Me That. To find me on SoundCloud, you can't just type Kamir because people just think it's a cool word. So you have to type Kamir_music, and then you find me. That's the same for Instagram and Twitter. And then Facebook, you can search me. It comes up. I've tried it. Kamir, that's capital C apostrophe capital M-E-R-E.
Great. Well, thanks again for joining us on Rock and Roll Space Station tonight. And now we'll get to the...
Excuse me, Jolt, but I had a question for Kamir too.
Violet, for the last time, it's Kamir. Correct your memory banks. All right, what's your question?
Kamir, hey, I think I got it. Kamir, if you were a robot, what kind of robot would you be?
Well, Violet, I'd be a rover because I could roll around taking photos of Mars, and it's like an awesome day.
Thank you, Kamir. I love rovers.
I love rovers too. So thanks again, Kamir, for taking the time to join us this evening.
No problem.
And we'll get to your 2 music picks right now. And again, you can download Kamir's track Show Me That for free right now on SoundCloud. So get on that. Shura's Touch coming up next. But here's pick number 1 from Kamir, Bowie's Golden Years on Rock and Roll Space Station. Movie staple. Before that, the 2 picks from our guest this evening, Kamir. She chose Touch by Shura and Golden Years by David Bowie. Thanks again, Kamir, for coming on board, and thank you, Violet, for all your hard work setting up the communications link. How'd you rig that up anyway?
Satellites?
Of course.